local theater folks. It's a good time to thank our hosts, especially Bill Salzman, who did a lot of work in getting us here and getting us coordinated and finding us places to stay. Those of us coming out of town, picking us up at the airport, helping to coordinate food. So I know Bill was behind a lot of that, and we want to thank you very much. To all the Colorado Springs folks, and I hope people are buying T-shirts because that's a really good way to thank them for the away. Yeah, and they just give them away, and we're grateful for that too. So we're doing one more T-shirt.
One more draw here. You have one more chance. Ruth already won, so she can be a non-biased observer.
Titus Peachy. Okay, you're on.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. You gotta pay the price. You gotta sacrifice for our liberty. Welcome, my friends, to our thrilling new game show, The Price of Freedom, where contestants will be trying to win friends, coerce enemies, and grab all the arms they can for our nation. But I must admit, we're in a heap of trouble tonight. This is a clarion call of desperation. We're facing something called sequestration of the military budget, and we don't like it. I'm Uncle Sham, and I'm here to tell you about how desperate our situation is and why we need this kind of arms boosting tonight. I'm going to make a little use of some visual aids, if I might. These are tough times to invest in war. If you'll take a look at this bar chart here, we're not even up to 60% of your entire federal tax dollar to pay for war. And we're not talking about just this year's war, past, present, and future wars. Why, 50% of a national budget is hardly enough to kill anyone anymore. So, you know, we're in a bind where we don't have any money to pay for killing, and yet there are all these shiny new technologies that we want to grab as much as possible. War is good business. Look. Now, here to help us explain some of these little nuances of the arms budget are the harbingers of freedom and the folks who believe in grabbing it all, the Star Horse!
Thank you, Uncle Sam, you're our man. Oh, yes. A little too understated. Oh, excuse me, I'm Miss Panty Gandhi, madam of all madmen. Just in from Washington, D.C. with my cohort, General Delusion. And we're here to represent the Star Whore Dynasty. Dynasty. And of course, we are here to make peace. Get a piece. It's the American way. We're hot and heavy for deployment. We turn tricks into employment.
We got dollars by the ton. We sell our arms to everyone.
We've got juicy defense contracts, gadgetry, and nukes galore.
What do we need? We need a war.
Lots of tunes the body politic can dance to, but there's just one melody I romance to.
There is nothing like a war.
Nothing in the world. Not a thing on sea or shore
that is anything like a war.
Nothing spends like a war.
Pays dividends like a war.
Or sets the trends like a war.
Or never ends like a war. There is nothing like a war.
Nothing in the world. It's the prophets we adore.
So let's have us a wonderful, lightning and thunderful, butter and gunderful war.
We can have heartfelt moments. Now, let me just explain a little bit about what our contestants will do. Our two contestants will be coming out to spend your tax dollars to choose between all kinds of fun, shiny games. Drones, missiles, robots. You see, we're not just playing this game for guns and bombs and weapons of mass destruction. We're playing this for freedom, democracy, and the American way. Let's introduce our two contestants. Come on down right now, Edna and Lucy.
We're so excited to be here. It's just a real thrill to be allowed to spend your money on peace and prosperity and just really helping the world.
Tell us, calm down. We don't want any corollaries here on The Price of Freedom. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Uncle Sham, I'm just a housewife.
Well, I'm sure that keeps you mighty busy, little Edna.
Do you know it really does? Well, with several children, a dozen grandchildren, and a husband who's pretty immature, and then working at a homeless shelter, and then volunteering at the school.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Now, Ludine, I understand you're doing some actually interesting things in your
Indeed,
life.
I'm much smarter and more interesting than Edna. I mean, I have a career, and I know about these things.
Yes. Well, we've heard enough now. Let's get to our game. The purpose in here is to allow you to choose from some really hot shit, as I understand it, and let you pick your favorite things and pay through the nose.
Oh, your favorite things.
Our favorite things.
Controlling space where the satellites glisten.
Spy operations to which we can listen.
Ospreys that hover and drones with ka-ching. These are a few of our favorite
things. Tanks, guns, and other creations metallic.
offensive missiles so shiny and phallic.
Lovely green money each fiscal year brings.
These are a few of our favorite things. Controlling the medias, the Congress, the critics, and medias.
Designing new weapons that never gets tedious.
Great old traditions to which we must cling.
These are a few of our favorite things. Trillions deficit.
We created it.
Do we shrink in shame?
No. We simply remember our favorite things and then do more of the same.
On Price of Freedom, but we do have a game to play, and so now it's time to put the nose on the barrel and make your decisions. Edna, we're going to start with you. We have two exciting choices for you to make. First up today is the $36 billion Osprey program. $69.3 million per plane, I believe. Now, this cute little compact can take off and land like a helicopter and yet fly like a plane. Perfect for those tiny little countries where that's very clumsy of you. Counterinsurgency demands low power, high performance, and a tight parking space. Okay? Number one. Now, for our second choice, we have the Value Killer family. The killer drone family. We've got $8 billion for the whole family at large, or about $8 million per drone. Now this is a family of true killer value. The Predator, the Reaper, the Gray Eagle. Now Daddy Predator is probably the most well-known of the bunch, a true harbinger of death in action. But, you know, the family likes to remind people that this is all a family values game. Value killer families game. And they want to make sure that family members are neither too hot, too cold, but all are just right for targeted assassination. Yay! So what's it going to be, Edna? The Osprey or the drone?
Oh, they're both so sleek and shiny. I kind of like the drone because, you know, it's more cost effective, it's cheaper, and I really like the idea of family values. But on the other hand, the Osprey is just so new. Whoa, it's really hard to decide. What do they do?
Well, you see, Edna, they work together to go into small little countries that need a lesson to be taught to them. And now, some bases here in the United States, like Canada and New Mexico, actually use both of them as a team. Are they here together? Now, here in Fort Carson, we have helicopters and drones that work together, but we're going to get an Osprey very soon, so it will be real team spirit. Now, if you're in a rich part of the country, you might be able to buy them both together. But here on The Price of Freedom, we're under sequestration, so you must pick one or the other, though neither of them are to be what they claim.
Well, which one, I'm wondering how these would help my children, or their children, or, you know, make the world better, like, you know.
Well, it looks like you're having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to spend your deficit dollars. That's a woman's prerogative. Let's go on to Ludine, who might be a little bit more decisive about such things. Ludine.
What do you have?
You have 2 space choices. Over here, at $400 million to $500 million a space vehicle. We really don't know how much the whole thing costs.
Do I have enough?
Well, we'll just have to keep working on that. Is the X-37B space plane. Now, this little puppy looks like a shuttle, but it's robot powered with no humans on board. And when they launch them, they stay up in orbit for months at a time. What do? Miss Pantygon's not telling us. Now, Miss Pantygon, on the other hand, has a $20 billion military space program under her shoulder. This is for the discriminating buyer who does not want one little space, with all due respect, but wants a whole divided field of space junk to work with. This $20 billion program launches satellites for communications, navigation, targeting, intelligence, and killing pretty soon. And they do all their jobs for the Air Force, and the Defense Information Systems Agency, and the National Reconnaissance Office, and the National Security Agency, and oh so many 3-letter agencies we don't know about. In fact, we put this $20 billion number on here. That's just a guess. It might be more like $50 billion. The point is, we're not allowed to know.
Really? Well, I mean, I know all about that 24/7 globally connected world out there. Yeah, believe me, I know about that. But I never anticipated the global kill chain part. Yeah?
Comes with program.
Okay. Well, shouldn't we use that connection technology for, like, education and transportation and schools and... No? No, it's better to work for world peace and security than for a national fake peace based on fear.
Fear?
happening? All these space vehicles do is make killing easier.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then they're out looking for oil and minerals to steal and starving people around the world and stop. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense? It's not supposed to make sense.
Oh.
It's supposed to make dollars. Millions and billions and trillions of dollars. We're making a killing by killing.
We arm the world. We arm the children.
We arm the ones who make a bigger kill.
Hey, it's a living.
It's a choice we're making. Our money or their lives. It's true we're giving war a chance eternally.
We send them our arms so they know that someone dares.
And their strife will make our enterprise free.
As greed has shown us by turning bread to bombs.
They all must spend. We've got the upper hand.
We arm the world.
We arm the world.
We arm the nations. If you have rebels that you need put down, just call our number.
1-800-KICK-ASS.
It's so easy, really, to guard the status quo.
We've got predators, ospreys, drones to keep them free.
We arm the world.
We arm the world.
We arm the children.
We arm the ones who make a bigger kill.
Hey, it's a living.
It's a choice we're making.
Our money or their lives. It's true we're giving war a chance eternally.
Although that deficit clock is ticking, I think it's about time to make a decision here.
You know, Uncle Sham, I live in a community here where we don't have enough money to water the soccer fields for my grandchildren to play. It just seems this is a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, I've taken some already. It takes more.
You know, I'm not real good with numbers, but like I do my shopping list, and you know, if I have $36 billion to spend, you know what I would do?
What?
Well, you know, like look at this. Like say if $10,000 was spent on each U.S. student, well, then this could fund a few million students. Or it could maintain 15 parks, programs the size of the national park system. Or one highway program the size of the U.S. interstate highway program. Or for a typical modern hospital, for example, costing $12 million to build, why, that amount could build 3,000 hospitals. Wow, I mean, you know, and think how much farther these dollars could go, stretch in developing nations. And if my numbers are correct, you know, we would still have enough money left over to build soccer parks and water them for every child in the United States of America and Mexico. And, well, and it'd be just about 1/2 of Africa also.
It seems like an incredible waste of money to spend so much on these big ticket items that are designed to kill. I mean it. I mean, if they're used, they're gone, and we've destroyed a lot of people and things in the process. And if they're not used, they're stashed away somewhere or sold off to gorillas or something. Well, they are. And so we spent all that money, and it's gone. It's wasted.
Now look.
No. I mean, what do these weapons do to ease international tensions? Really, I mean, what do they do to, like, feed people who are hungry? You don't know that either, do you? And what do they do to improve conditions for the 99%?
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's time to stop all this gushy talk. It's time to make decisions. In fact, we don't really even have to make the decisions because we really want all of these. And now it's time for you to just kind of pay up the nose as we tell you to do so.
No. Oh, I think I'm not good with that.
Uncle Sam, I'm just not comfortable with this at all. And you know what? I'm not buying it. I don't like these options. And what if I just keep my money and I just go out and I spend it on the things that we really need in this country?
Yeah, like what if we start building new schools? I mean, we could do that, or feeding people around the world, or reducing the cost of health care, helping with crippling diseases. There are things we could spend this money on.
You think that's going to make a difference? You think all this talk is going to make any kind of difference? You're just one person. What can one person do, ladies? It'll only get you in trouble. Then what would your grandchildren say? Grandma'd be in jail.
Well, but you know, Ludine, you got to start someplace. I think just
the place to start is here and now. Out with all of you.
We'll just take our toys and go home.
You might have known that, but we're told that by people like that, you know. They want to take all our money, all our savings, spend it all, and skyrocket the military budget into the stratosphere. They think like that, but I don't think we need to stand up for it anymore, because our real freedom is achieved with the painful and costly choices that we need to make, right? We need to make these choices to say no to a militarist government, to say no to an army that has no limits, that has no bounds. There's nothing that ever stops it anywhere. I mean, achieving peace certainly isn't free. Absolutely not.
Well, you know what, Ludine? Maybe it does take thousands of people to make a difference, but it's got to start with one, and I'm going to be that one. Woo!
I'll be number 2.
Okay, take some money. Where do you want to spend this? What program needs help?
Thousands already.
Don't you think we've got to stand up? Would you take 2? Okay, we've got to stand up.
There's 64 billion.
Who's with us? Stand up
And tell them you're here. Shout it out loud for the whole world to hear. They're long overdue for a kick in the rear. Stand up and tell them you're here. These are sign overs of maybe the words if you need them. Stand up and tell them you're here. Shout it out loud for the whole world to hear. We're long overdue for a kick in the rear. Stand up and tell them you're here. The world has gone crazy, the country's a mess. You open your eyes and you just get depressed. If you take what they give you, they'll keep all the rest. So, stand up and tell them you're here. Stand up and tell them you're here. Shout it out loud for the whole world to hear. They're long overdue for a kick in the rear. Stand up and tell them you're here.
Oh, the problems are so hard and talk is so cheap. Counting the crises is like counting sheep. You can count on the experts and go back to sleep. Or stand up and tell them you're here. Stand up and tell them you're here. Shout it out loud for the whole world to hear. They're long overdue for a kick in the rear. Stand up and tell them you're here.
When you're fed up with being ignored and abused, refused. Their bombast and bomb blasts just can't be excused. We'll make them an offer they cannot refuse when we stand up and tell them we're here. Stand up and tell them we're here. Shout it out loud for the whole world to hear. They're all overdue for a kick in the rear. Stand up and tell them you're here.